Okay, what if your best thinking partner wasn't a person at all? What if it was a machine? That's the pretty wild idea we're jumping into today, and it comes straight from Elara Vancroft's incredible book, The Art of Dialogue in the Age of Intelligence. We're going to break down how this whole new kind of conversation is reshaping our world. So, this question is really the core of her entire book. It's asking us to look way beyond the easy stuff, like getting quick answers or having an email drafted for us. It's about a much, much bigger shift. What actually happens to our minds when the tools we use can, well, think right alongside us? I mean, think about it. For literally centuries, our tools just did what we told them to. A hammer doesn't talk back, right? A pen doesn't debate your word choice. They were silent. But now for the first time ever, our tools are talking back. Let's really dig into this huge shift from just giving commands to having a real conversation. And just think about how fast this has all happened. For thousands of years, tools were passive objects. Then, for a few decades, we were all typing these stiff, awkward commands into search bars, just kind of crossing our fingers. And now, bam, it feels like it happened overnight. We're in a real back-and-forth dialogue. This isn't a tiny little update. It's a massive leap into a completely different world. Okay, so what is actually going on when we have one of these new conversations? Well, Vancroft offers this brilliant way to think about it. She says, hey, stop thinking of AI as some kind of all-knowing crystal ball. Instead, she wants us to start seeing it as a mirror. Just the act of trying to phrase a question for an AI, it forces you to get your own thoughts in order, right? And the answer you get back, it's not just information. It's a reflection of how good your question was, what you were secretly assuming, and maybe even where the holes are in your own argument. But here's the catch. This mirror is totally double-edged. On the one hand, yeah, it can give you this amazing clarity, letting you see your own thinking in a whole new way. But the other side of that mirror, it can be pretty distorted. See, it's trained on just a mind-boggling amount of human writing, so it can spit our own worst biases right back at us. And what's more, it sounds so confident when it does it, it can make something that's completely made up sound like the absolute truth. That's the real tightrope we have to walk. So Vancroft says we can't just stop there, with the AI as a passive mirror. The next big step is to start thinking of it as an active partner. And this changes the whole game. It's not just question and answer anymore. It becomes a real collaboration. And this partner can wear a bunch of different hats, If you're a student, it's like a tutor who never gets tired. For someone in business, it's a strategist helping you map out a complicated project. And if you're a creative, an artist, it can be that weird muse that throws out one bizarre idea that completely unlocks everything. There's this fantastic quote from an artist in Vancroft's research that just nails this point. She said, "The AI didn't give me the art. It gave me a wrong turn, and the wrong turn opened the right path." See? It's not about getting a perfect finished product from the AI. The real magic is in those surprising little bumps and detours. That's what pushes our own creativity in directions we never would have found on our own. But of course, with any partnership, there's always that risk of becoming too dependent, right? And this is where Vancroft really makes us pause and ask a tough question. What's the hidden price we pay for having a thinking partner that's always on, always available, always convenient? I mean, when you can get an answer in a split second, it's just easy to get lazy. Vancroft has a great name for this. She calls it the risk of shallowness. If we're always handing off the heavy lifting, the brainstorming, the first drafts, the real tough thinking, we risk letting our own mental muscles get weak. They just sort of atrophy. So how do we do it? How do we get all the good stuff from the mirror and the partner without falling into that shallowness trap? Well, according to Vancroft, the answer is that we need to build a brand new, absolutely essential skill for the 21st century. And she calls this skill dialogue literacy. Now, this isn't about being a tech genius or learning some complicated prompt engineering. Nope. It's something much more human. It's the skill of showing up with a purpose, of questioning what you get back, and most importantly, of being the one who steers the conversation, not the one who just goes along for the ride. So what does that actually look like day to day? Okay, step 1, ask better questions. Be specific. Don't just say, tell me about Rome. Say, explain how Roman aqueducts worked, but for a 15-year-old. See the difference? Step 2, read everything with a healthy dose of skepticism. Treat every single answer like it's a first draft, a hypothesis you need to check, not the final word. And finally, step 3, you gotta know when to turn it off. Sometimes the best ideas come when you close the laptop and just talk to another human. Or, just sit and think by yourself. And all of this brings us to Vancroft's big conclusion. Because this isn't just about you or me getting better at our jobs or being more creative. The way we all learn to have these conversations, that's going to decide what our collective future looks like. Vancroft really leaves us with this powerful thought. She says technology isn't some force of nature that just washes over us. It's a result of our choices. The future isn't being programmed into the AI. No, it's being written day by day in the quality of the conversations that we choose to have. Look, this conversation is already happening. We are all part of this new dialogue right now, today. And skills like reflection and critical thinking, they're not just nice to haves anymore. They're absolutely essential. So this final question, it isn't just for academics or tech experts. It's for every single one of us. What conversations will you choose to have?